Hi, everyone. Happy Friday. I am leaving you with the reading of chapter 9 from things I would have told my children if I had them. This is the penultimate chapter of the book, and I've been waiting a little while to read it. It's a big one. It takes a little while to get through it, but it's worth it to stick around. Thanks for being here as always. Here goes. The title of chapter 9 is Cognizing My Purpose. For as long as I can remember, I felt like a misfit. Many of us do. It was difficult to relate to other children. I found myself happier in the company of adults and elder adults, hyper aware of my mortality, and a sense that I was responsible for the entire planet somehow. I certainly felt responsible for the happiness of those around me. This is something I have struggled with, as its faithful companions of guilt and shame often leave me paralyzed and unable to value my own journey enough to truly live it. I'm slowly overcoming this, and I continue to push myself beyond. So, the question of my value, my purpose, has been a central theme in my life. And when I was confronted by this as part of the Certificate in Applied Positive Psychology CAP curriculum, a part of me rebelled. The weight and burden of it stretched out over me, the heaviness of that responsibility resurfacing again. I looked at the related class exercises and became instantly critical and dismissive. I railed at what I saw as a superficial treatment of the issue, only to realize that I was running from the truth. That in reflecting on my idea of what my purpose is and my attempts to live it, I have felt a complete failure. As happened often in this CAP program, I was pushed to dig deeper, to be confronted, to expand. In thinking on how to push myself through one morning, it occurred to me to read through two sets of messages I had received recently. One set of instant messages from a new friend, someone who was just getting to know me, and some emails from someone who knows me at my core. They described me as a special, intuitive, bright light of a person, someone who astounded them with a deep level of introspection and ability for tying it into the wider world. In response to something I had written to one of them, they wrote that my words brought them comfort, clarity, empowerment, and love, and that they perceived my words as emanating from a deep place of purity, respect, care, and love. I wrote their words out in my CAP class notebook. Then I got out the portfolio I had started at age 19 and read through, finding letters children between the ages of 6 and 8, as I remember, had written to me in my early days of human rights work when I was participating in an internship with the Canadian government. The internship was in satisfaction of government obligations under the Treaty to Ban Anti-Personnel Landmines. It was based with Oxfam Canada, and this internship marked the beginning of my career in human rights-based work. I did research, public education, and advocacy on many issues in addition to the work on the ban on landmines, including on food security and poverty, and global issues of sweatshop labor, and the highly inequitable trade agreements dominating global trade. The work I did was mostly with adults, but I also partnered with an organization called the Rural Youth Education Project, and they did work in rural schools, including elementary level. I remember that I was so nervous about presenting to children how to do this in the right way, talking about people getting blown up, talking about all that suffering, how to talk to children about this. Is there a right way? I prepared and I did it. And I was given the most incredible gift after one of my presentations. As a class exercise requested by their teacher, the children had individually written to thank me and to write what they had learned from me. I was struck by their honesty and the common themes of expecting that my presentation would be boring, but that they were pleasantly surprised. how they were so quick to recognize their privilege, while also aware of the things they found difficult to navigate in their lives, their immediate desire to help, and how numbed they had been at early ages to violence. Here are some excerpts minus last names to protect their privacy. I thought my life was bad because I didn't have a grandmother, because she died of cancer, but I still have my three brothers and my parents. Some of these kids don't have anything, not even a mom or dad or anyone. I can't believe that people would harm or even kill. Sincerely, Taisha. I liked your presentation, and I think that when I'm older, I'll do something. Well, I think that most kids don't realize how lucky we are in Canada. I just want to thank you for your presentation because now I don't think that mines are very cool. Yours truly, Andrew. Your presentation really made me want to know more about landmines. I didn't know that they were still being made. I learned that landmines are not as fun as they seem. Sincerely, Tara. This next one I am writing out in its entirety. The reason is explained afterwards. Dear Cherise, I really liked your presentation about landmines. I really learned more about how people would feel living in a place that is filled with mines. I would feel scared and worried every time someone I knew goes outside to play or goes to get some food for the family. If I knew how to disarm landmines, I would, because if I had no legs or arms, I would be very sad. Yours truly, Dennis. Underneath his letter to me, the class teacher wrote in his teacher red pen. Dennis and his family came here from Bosnia about 5 years ago. He might have had some knowledge of the topic. In my heart, I hope he was too young to remember. Bosnia-Herzegovina was one of the countries available for the field component of the internship. I had chosen Cambodia, but I understood the dire nature of the situation in Bosnia. I knew what Dennis had escaped. 20 years later, and reflecting on the cool indifference of adults when I have facilitated capacity building training for professionals on human rights issues, I am confronted by the all-encompassing veil of political ideologies so many of us hold on to, and how they stop us from just feeling for another human being. I reflected on the fixed mindsets that seem to override many adults' capacity for empathy, and I remembered the kindness of those children. I remembered their sense of accountability for making the world a better place and easing the suffering of others. What hit me, though, with a mighty force was their courage. Their first impulse didn't seem to be to run from something so overwhelming, so terrifying. I reflected on how courage manifests in children, and in my heart, I gained renewed faith that we can give that courage back to ourselves as adults, that I can give that courage back to myself. Next, I read through articles that were written about me and reference letters written for me. Common themes were my passion about human rights and the environment, the need to cultivate enabling environments for people to truly maximize opportunities presented to them. I had once said in an interview that people cannot rise above poverty if they are constantly under stress, that I went above and beyond in fulfilling my duties, that I am quick to take initiative, and I'm very passionate about my field and always willing to share information, and that I have a fine mind and that they were losing me too soon. Finally, I felt through what I have done. I turned myself inside out and I looked at the person I have become. I thought about my friends and family and how they seemed to see me, the good and the bad. I took a good look at my weaknesses. What did people say? What did I learn from them? Well, as much of this has and is changing in me, this is what people have said. They said that I am overly critical. I overanalyze. I am too outspoken and don't think about the feelings of others when I am feeling defensive or passionate about something. I can be unwavering in what I think is the right thing. I want others to be perfect. I don't listen. I am impatient and talk over others when I have something I feel I need to get out. I judge others for not making the choices I think they should make. I just set the bar too high. People feel criticized and inadequate. I took a long, hard look and saw the desperation I sometimes experience to fix everything so that I can feel that I have made a valid contribution. I saw that what I can really impact is what is immediately around me. And often, those closest to me are the ones who feel my sense of failure and my frustration with myself. I sometimes take it out on them. Then, in a moment that can only be compared to a fanfare orchestra exploding in my head, I realized that these feelings pointed to the truth that my purpose was firmly tied to my sense of self and how I show up to and for others. I saw that I was already living it in many ways. I really turned myself inside out. I saw that change is something we do together and that it is not up to me to solve everything because all I would see are problems to fix. I saw that my role was to help us all get there together, using what I have come to understand as my special gifts. My purpose, like for all of us, is to use my gifts in the best way possible for the greater good, whether that greater good is my community, my family, the country I live in, the individuals I encounter in my day to day. In short, my purpose is to be myself without judgment, without undue pressure. Then I started to write. And below is what I put down as part of a document I labeled my cosmic birth record. Then I got showered, got on my bicycle, and rode down to the photo place and had it printed out and framed. My earth life purpose is to lovingly, intuitively, and respectfully, without judgment, use my unique understanding of the interconnection of human experience to cultivate and inspire clarity, understanding, interconnectivity, and loving expressions of consciousness. I achieve my purpose through the gifts and capabilities of deep empathy, intra and interconnection, insightful communication, and accountability to self, other beings, and our planetary and cosmic parent and home. Key points. Our purpose is not something we have to find. It is revealed to us through honest reflection. Think about what people say that is magical about you, where you put your energy in the world. Where are you showing up as frustrated, angry, happy, inspired? These all tell you what you care about and what you are doing about it. Living your purpose is having the courage to be who you already are. Thank you so much. Have a beautiful weekend and take care.